Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very interesting video because seemingly pretty much out of nowhere, a bunch of new Nintendo Switch 2 games have leaked. Some of these officially are leaking out, right? Just kind of showing up a little bit early. Now, either today or tomorrow, a Nintendo Direct could possibly be announced. You know, by the time you're watching this video, that could have happened already. I don't think so, but you never know. So we have a bunch of Switch 2 game leaks, as well as some rumors and updates. So we got ourselves a pretty exciting video. Let's go ahead and get right into this one. It's so funny, every time I record, the cat thinks that I'm talking to it. So she'll just show up and just hang out right here. So sorry, it's so distracting because I'm not used to having this cat yet. Yeah, she's just doing stuff all the time, man. So sorry about that. But yeah, we have a very exciting video. Really big games are leaking out. Some of them it's like, yeah, we kind of expected this. Some of them not so much. And also a Switch 2 game was just revealed. And I've done a little research and we might have to be cautious about this one. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep these communities growing. And let's just go and get right into this one. And oh yeah, today, 5 o'clock, I think, there is the PlayStation State of Play event. I'll be live streaming that, so come and hang out and let's watch it together. So speaking of cats that are actually orange, I know, I have an orange cat. And we're talking about something else to do with an orange cat, because Stray got an official Switch 2 edition, and there was supposed to be a free upgrade path from the Switch version to the Switch 2 edition, but that was not there. So people were like double buying the game. But Annapurna has been working on this, and now there's an official free upgrade for Stray from the Switch to the Switch 2. So maybe if you actually bought it twice, I think you could probably explain this to Nintendo's like live chat thing, and they will give you a refund. I've got refund for games I've actually played before. I know people always say like, yeah, they never give refunds, but they actually will. So I just want to give a PSA out there in case, you know, you're one of the people who bought this or you were on the fence about getting the Switch 2 edition. Now, when I was saying there's a new game coming over to the Switch 2, and after doing a little research, some people are saying be cautious about this. There's a new horror game called Beyond the Dark Night Watch, and this is actually releasing exclusively for the Switch 2. It is labeled as an isometric co-op horror game or something. And I'm not the biggest horror game fan, so it's like, I don't really care that much. But allegedly, the guy who is developing this game developed another game on the Switch, and they took like a bunch of money for the game, maybe through crowdfunding or whatever, and that game just never came out. And then there was somebody else who was working on this game who people were like, okay, that guy has a little credibility, but allegedly that guy's not developing this game anymore, and he left that alone. So the person who developed this game or is developing it, they have a little bit of a shady background. Now, I don't think that means like, because one game never came out, that they're just a full-on scammer. Maybe there were some issues, or maybe it's something to be cautious for. Or sometimes they're like that one space game that has like $1 billion in funding and doesn't have an official version yet. What the hell is it called, like StarCraft or something? So yeah, this one I would just watch a little closely before pre-ordering it or whatever, you know what I mean? Now, speaking of horror games, we have a possible update about a new Resident Evil game coming from the Resident Evil team, or Capcom. And this has to do with the location of a new Resident Evil game. So I only played like 2 Resident Evil games my whole life, and I think Resident Evil 4 takes place in Spain, but a majority of them, it seems like they take place in America. But there's one location they've never touched on, and that is Japan, you know, the place where the Capcom team is actually from. So Kumazawa recently discussed the future of the Resident Evil franchise, and he had some fascinating things to say about the series potentially coming to Japan. I think a Japanese setting is something every Japanese Resident Evil fan has thought about, and I've also considered it myself. Since the development team is primarily based in Japan, I think every member has given it some thought. While Japan hasn't appeared as a game setting so far, it might make an appearance at some point in the future. And that would be so cool. Not because it's like, oh, it's in Japan, we gotta weeb out, oh my god, this is crazy. But I just think there's so much like Japanese folklore and like cryptids and just so much weird stuff they could touch on that might not just be only zombies, right? They could make a really cool horror game, because I honestly think it would be so cool and just has so much potential. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, this is so distracting. I can hear my cat cleaning itself over here. And the noise of a cat cleaning itself is not like a good noise. I'm like, what the hell are you doing over there? And I'm like, oh, you're just cleaning yourself. Or are you? What are you doing, bro? Chill out, man. This is crazy. I feel like I have a new child or something. Sorry, I'm so distracted. But we have a Switch 2 game leak, which is 100% confirmed. Another leak coming from a very credible source that leaked a million things that came out like perfectly. I think they're like a Sega Atlas leaker or whatever. Then there's a third one where it's like, okay, you get some stuff right, sometimes you don't, but it is still fun to cover. So first, let's get into the easiest one. We can see right here that Minecraft has officially been rated for the Nintendo Switch 2 through the ESRB ratings. And not only is this like a given, like this is probably going to happen, right? One, mouse controls and Minecraft, Maron. This is a match made in heaven. This is going to be amazing. Minecraft is a game I feel like I missed, right? I just never played it when I was younger. I tried playing it for like an hour one day. I thought the music was incredible. Like I cared about the music more than the actual game. But I've really been wanting to find a game that will utilize mouse controls because I feel like it's a feature that I'm just not using. So I'm not using my Switch 2 to like its max benefit, right? And number two, I don't even know why I'm numbering this stuff, but number two, Minecraft was such a big part of the Nintendo Switch. So much that I could be wrong on this, but I think Minecraft sold the best out of any platform, including PC, on the Nintendo Switch. And that's crazy. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I feel like I read an article or that was like a big thing going around that Minecraft sells the best on the Nintendo Switch. So it was such a big part of the identity of the Nintendo Switch. So much that I think Minecraft even got like Mario DLC or some kind of Mario something or another. So Minecraft on the Switch 2 just makes a lot of sense. Now, this could go a couple of ways. They could announce this randomly, social media post, drop a trailer, say this game is coming out on this date. And I think it would be perfectly fine. But with how well received Minecraft was on the Switch and how big of a part of the Switch's life it was, I almost feel like this makes more sense to just throw in a Nintendo Direct. You'd be like, oh yeah, this is coming to the Switch too, that's awesome. And then maybe they even have some more Nintendo DLC. And you know what actually makes the perfect sense? Minecraft / Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC. Or Minecraft Pokemon Pocopia DLC, which wouldn't happen, but that's like something that would be really cool as well. So yeah, I feel like we're going to see an official reveal for this coming in the next week. Now, let's start talking about some Sega and Atlas leaks. There's so much going on here. There's one game that they're saying specifically for the Switch 2, and it's like, yeah, we all expected this. Now, honestly, this is something I think that should have happened a long time ago, like months ago, but better late than never. But there's so much going on here, man. It's pretty cool. So the insider who leaked Jet Set Radio trailer leaks a bunch of other stuff as well. Persona is coming to Fortnite. Wow. Big shocker there, right? There will be an announcement for Sonic this year. Again, big shocker. That's always like a September, October, November release Sonic games. Claims there's a new Sonic model, describes it as a great improvement. And to that, I gotta say, I don't know about that. You remember what Sonic looked like before the first movie? Says he heard about Sonic in Fortnite, but never again. A new character in Jet Set Radio called Sierra. New Ace Attorney announcement this year, which would be really, really cool. A larger trailer for Jet Set Radio is in the works. Shared a leaked image of the new Streets of Rage. Metaphor Fantasio port for the Switch 2 is in the works. I think this is probably going to come out like September, October, November as well for the Switch 2. It just feels like that is a timeline for this kind of release, right? I can't remember when Persona 3 Reload came out for the Switch 2. I want to say about that same time. So they're probably going to follow like the same scheduling. Crazy Taxi were released before Jet Set Radio. Phantasy Star Online 3 in development. This is a game I've never played before, but I know it has a huge fan base, and that is actually crazy. New Puyo Puyo game next year. Those are pretty fun. When asked if there's FEMC in Persona 6, he said, kinda. Shared a leaked image of Miku coming to Persona 5X as part of the anniversary celebration, which I believe that is the mobile game. So there's a lot going on in here, and everything that's in this list, truly from top to bottom, 100%, I'm like, yeah, I could see all of this happening. So that Metaphor Fantasio port being in the work for the Switch 2, that's the main thing I care about here. Also the Sonic stuff, I'm a big Sonic fan, but it is what it is. I think Metaphor is getting revealed at that general direct. Like I said, that's either happening this week, if not next week or the week after, 100% for sure. But now what's interesting is I looked up the download size for Metaphor Fantasio, and on the PS4 and PS5, it's 71 gigabytes. But if they're developing it for the Switch 2 and tweaking a couple things, this would actually be really cool if they can get this truly physical on the cartridge. because I think it would just sell incredibly well over there, right? So, you know, time will tell on this, but man, I cannot wait to play this because I'm a huge Persona fan and I've never played Metaphoria Fantasio. And this last leak we're going to talk about is coming from Nash Weedle, and it's like, I know, oh my god, Nash Weedle, but they did talk about something that Nintendo was possibly doing, then something similar to that happened, and they're like piggybacking off of that event. I know this sounds vague, but that's the reason why I'm covering it, because it's like, you know what, you might have something here. So on May 19th, they said, I'm reviewing the clues I received about a new Wario that makes use of the camera, and I'm going to check just in case information got distorted or I misinterpreted it. And it was actually Picto Nico, or whatever the hell that new mobile game is called. So that's them talking about this on May 19th, but probably like 6 months ago or something, they were saying Nintendo wants to do something really weird with the Switch 2 camera, and then Picto Nico came out, and I don't think that's for the Switch 2, right? So now they're saying Leak Express. Well, aside from this WarioWare-like, there's something Wario-related on the way. And I actually think that's true. I think this is one of those games you don't really ever expect to happen, and then it just shows up out of nowhere. Like, I don't even think this would be in a Nintendo Direct. This is like one of those weird and wacky Nintendo Today announcements, right? It's just like, whoa, there's a new WarioWare game coming on the way, or maybe we get a WarioWare Direct. Now, WarioWare would be cool because of the Switch 2 camera and the mouse controls. They could definitely do something wacky and cool and goofy and a lot of fun. But also, I would really like a new Wario Land game because they're just so damn good. And now that I'm actually sitting here and talking about all this, remember there was that person who leaked all this stuff like a week before Nate the Hate did about Star Fox and Ocarina of Time remake, and they also said a WarioWare game was in development, or Wario Land, I can't remember. So definitely something Wario related. Feels like it's right around the corner from being announced. Now this is cool, you know, I'm a big fan of this, but if we can keep it a buck for a moment, what the hell is going on with my guy, Waluigi? But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So in the comments below, I would love to hear from you guys. Truly, we talked about a lot. Maybe a Nintendo Direct was announced. I'm not sure. But regardless, we have Sony State of Play this evening, so come and hang out. Let's watch that together. We have Summer Games Fest this week. We have Xbox Showcase this week. So I almost want the Nintendo Direct to come next week, so we just have like a full, almost 2 weeks of events, right? That would be kind of better in my opinion. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.